My name is Alexa, and I'm the program director for Monday Night Marsh. And thanks for joining us for the 10th episode of Monday Night MarshStream. I can't believe it's been that long. And for those that don't know, the marsh is the seed that sprouted into Monday Night Marsh is the seed that sprouted into what the marsh is today, which is a breeding ground for new performance. And the first Monday Night Marsh was performed in 1989 at the Hotel Utah on Bryant Street. So we've made it a long way. It's 31 years. So, but to help make sure we don't go anywhere, we are a nonprofit organization. If you feel so inclined, we have passed around the link for the tip jar, which will be there all Zoom session. So let's get started. Tonight is such a great and special edition of Monday Night MarshStream. We have, as Stephanie mentioned, performances from the Formerly Incarcerated Peoples Project. And that is a project that is directed and produced by Mark Kenward, Rebecca Fisher, and Wayne Harris. Toni Weingarten does the consulting and producing as well. So I want to pass it over to Rebecca Fisher, who will be telling us a little bit more about what we will be seeing tonight. Hey, Rebecca.
Hi. Thank you guys for being here. I've been very excited about tonight's performance. As the larger project, the Formerly Incarcerated Peoples Project, was an idea that Mark Kenward had, and he invited me and myself and Wayne Harris to collaborate with him as directors. And the idea was we were going to we started in January, we were going to have a big festival, actually right around this time. But because of shelter in place, that changed. But we've been meeting with that group, the formerly incarcerated people, regularly, and they've performed at Monday Night Marsh. And that's been a very rich, powerful experience. Meanwhile, when we were asking for submissions from formerly incarcerated individuals, we had two mothers, the two mothers that you'll see tonight, write to us. And I moved because it wasn't an idea that we thought of on our own, like, oh yeah, the mothers, a family should tell their stories. But they were like, hey, I want to talk about my son and the effects it had on me as a mother. And this speaks to the importance of saying, I got a story, I want to tell it. And we didn't start meeting them until we were already in shelter in place. So it's been all virtual Zoom relationship. And it's not every Saturday, we've met on Saturdays, and it's just been very moving. And it feels very important that these stories are told right now when the Black Lives Matter movement is so strong and important and being heard. And so anyway, with that introduction, I'd like to introduce our first performer is Pearl Louise, and she will be doing the call. So let's please welcome Pearl.
You so much. I want to tell you, one time I got a call from my son needing help. You know, like all mothers were front and center, right there ready to help. But as I listened to him, I thought, oh man, this is serious. Beyond what I think I can do, that I can handle. And for a moment, out of frustration and fear, I was desperate. And I said to myself, who's going to help me help my son? His father? No. He let it be known at the beginning. You know what? Let that nigga handle his own self. You know, one time he told me my game wasn't tight. So let him handle his shit like I handle mine. Handle his shit like he did. See, my husband was talking about prison. My son was in prison for 10 years. Now the DA wanted to give him 35 years. You know what that is? That's a nigger sentence for us Black folks. They'll just give us anything. Do you know what it's like to tell an 18-year-old that you get 35 years? Man, when I was 18 years old, I thought 35 years old was old. Let me tell you something. When the DA offered us 10 years, we was like, yeah, we'll take that. We jumped at it. That white DA, y'all, he was like Santa Claus. And that 10-year sentence was wrapped up in a gift with a bow on top and a little note that says, 10 years, take that, niggas. And I was like, wow. My son said, Mom, let me do this dime. Let me get up on out of here. I'll just have to jail hard. So I said, all right, if you want to catch that 10 years, let me tell you something. You know, when your kid goes to school, don't you notice? We all go to school as parents, shoulder to shoulder, taking them every day, buying them lunch, helping with homework, getting them up when the child doesn't want to get up. Get up! You know you got to go to school. Buying them clothes, PTA meetings, after school activities, daycare to college. They depend on us. Same thing with prison. If you love your child, and oh, baby, love is going to be put to a test. They don't go to prison. We all go to prison. Where the prison is a school of hard knocks, where the students and the staff can knock your child upside the head or even worse. You know, it starts with the arrest, the phone calls, the court dates, the bail, the court case. Is your kid on the docket? No. Oh man, I drive all the way here. Fees, fines, they wear you down. That's their point. And graduation? Well, the prison sentence can last for years, decades. So long you may not even live long enough to see your child go free. Let me tell you, I was so angry when I got that first call from my son. Hello? This is a collect call from an inmate at a California State Correctional Institution. This call and your number will be recorded. If you'd like to pay for this, the fee is blah, blah, blah. Press 0 if you like to accept, or just hang up. So I pressed 0. And on the other end of that phone was my son's voice. And he said, Ma. And when I heard his voice, my eyes shut close. And I was like Florida Evans in Good Times, you know? Damn, damn, damn. Not you, son. Not you. You get stuck up in the system. I thought, not again. See, y'all, I've been through this before. With my husband, his father, my brother, several cousins, advocating for them as a family member. San Quentin, Folsom, Vacaville, CMC, High Desert Prison, Corcoran. It was like a tour I was going on. And that was hard enough. But when your child goes to prison, I look back, trying not to blame myself, which is hard. It's not like I didn't try. One of the biggest fears for a Black mother with a Black son in America is the motherfucking police. Prison. Our Black sons be laying in their crib and we see a target on their back in this country. Sometimes you hear that Black mothers raise their children and they spoil their sons. I admit it, but I don't spoil my son. I'm trying to protect him because of the fear is so deep. You know, they say boys will be boys, you know, but boys with their rambunctious, mischievous behavior is only allocated to white boys. Again and again, they be fucking up shit. I see it. And society says that they can grow up and go on to be an adult. Are Black boys? Nope, nada. As a matter of fact, they don't even look at our boys like they're boys as they try to grow up. Our Black son can sit on a picnic table with a toy gun without getting shot by the police. He may jaywalk, you know, in a hurry. And here comes the police, fucking with your boy. Caught with some weed, now he's a notorious drug dealer. I want to apologize from the news a couple of days ago in Georgia. A questionable mishap and a white police officer is judge, jury, and executioner, publicly lynching your son with his knee for $20. That's what you worry about as a mother with a Black son. So you go around and you go around with your teenage son, just a fussing, acting like the police, so they won't be caught by the police. So you look at your son, he's growing up, damn, he's taller than me. How did that happen? Sitting there rolling his eyes at you. And you tell him, what did you say? No, go ahead, tell me what you said. Oh, that's right. Okay. Watch your mouth. Hey, where are you going? Don't be hanging around that corner. There's nothing but trouble down there. Hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you hang around this kitchen? You know, around these dirty damn ass dishes. Maybe be motivated to wash a few. Can a Black mother raise a Black boy to be a Black man? Most people say no. And I tend to agree with them. But I had no choice. I had to be the mama and the daddy. Every day. I give them the talk that we give our sons about the system, police brutality, and the streets. As mothers, every day, when our Black sons go out that front door, our heart skips just a slight beat out of fear. Will my son come back home tonight? So many people, including the counselors, said he had a great potential in life. Now my son is in prison. One night I came home to the living room full of chaos. Everybody was hooping and hollering and crying. My youngest son and daughter was arguing, and my young son was crying, holding on to the phone. I snatched it out of his hand. Hey, hello? The person hung up. My son is like, Mom, he said that we owed him $50, $50 more dollars. Mom, it's $50, he said. I said to myself, $50? $50? I told them, you guys just calm down. Everything's gonna be all right. You see, that person on the other end of the phone was a stranger, another prisoner who was handling a money transaction regarding my son. See, this is the world of prison commerce. An underground system of wheeling and dealing just to survive. It's a system that you better learn fast. Hey, what do you need? Drugs, sex, food, clothes. Hey, how about cell phone? That's 1800. Murder for hire. What do you need to make your time go easy, man? We got it, or we can get it for a price. I told my kids it was going to be all right and to calm down. But I lied. My son called me a few days later. The rest of the money had to be paid. Damn. Money I didn't even have. All the money I had was used on the last transaction. And now, someone was willing to kill my son for $50. You see, it's not about the $50. It's about inmate rules. It's about respect. You don't get an inch. I mean, I can hear it now. Damn, nigga, you short. What's up? No, man, we don't be carrying no goddamn IOUs out there. Look, listen up, nigga. Give me my motherfucking money. Or, nigga, goddamn. You see, that nigga, goddamn was a hit set on my son. It wasn't long before they tried to knife him in the back in the cafeteria. Thank God his friend was there to signal him on the hit. So my son fought. Because, you know, my son ain't no punk either. Mom, you should have seen it, man. That nigga came in there, bing, 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 bing. Yeah, and he fell down. I stomped that nigga in his face. Mom, don't worry. But I was on the phone. What? What else happened? Did they call something? He was trying to calm me down. Yeah, he survived this time. But what about next time? He must have read my mind. Mom, look, hey, Mom, you think you come up with that $50 so I can get that clown off my back, you know, and squash this shit? If not, that's all right. I'm always ready. I just handle my shit, you know? Like his father said, handle his shit. My son once told me in jail, he said, hey, Mom, I got a tattoo made across my back in big words. I gave this homie some soups, you know, put some money on his books. That's what he does to survive, man, because he's a lifer. He starts tatting at people. Mom, it's your name across my back. Because, Mom, you my backbone. And now, I had to find $50 to save my son. You know, when you're poor and broke, it might as well be $5,000. I'm riding on BART with a dark cloud over my head. You know, like you see in cartoons, just looking out the BART window, going to class on a sunny day. Yep, I was going to class. I enrolled in something just for me. Because I have a life. My other kids have a life. Y'all, we're talking about 10 years. We got to keep surviving. And you know, the world don't give a fuck about your problems. But my son's life was at a standstill. every day, rotting in a 10 by 8 jail cell, trying to keep his mind sane. My son working out, doing push-ups, bird bathing in the same sink. My son's stuff on this side, his silly stuff on the other side, in a small cage, just pacing back and forth like a caged animal, locked in there 22 hours a day to rot. Something's bound to happen, and it did. One time my son had a cellie. He was a teenager too. He was sentenced to a long prison term, and he couldn't deal with it. And with that, he committed suicide. My son said, "Ma, he jumped right off the third tier, head first." Another Black boy, lost in his system. I don't want to look like Michael Jordan, you guys, so you're just going to have to hang with me, right? As a Black mother, you get in a mental shell, like a turtle, to protect yourself from the judgments and the realities that society hurls at us. Black women carry that mental tortoise shell all our lives just to survive. We stick our heads and our legs in, and we barrel through life. So that day in class, as I hid in my tortoise shell, it was my turn to go up in front of my classmates. I blinked out for a moment, and I paused. I realized I couldn't hide in my shell that day. I felt I was suffocating, like I couldn't breathe. So like a turtle, I stuck my head up and took a deep emotional breath. And I shared with my classmates what I was going through with my son, being a mother of an incarcerated child in prison. And my classmates, you guys, they gave me a wonderful gift. They listened. Do you know what a great gift that was for them to just listen to me? White people don't really listen to Black folks too much. I finished and I went straight to the bathroom and went into a stall and sat on the toilet. Sitting there, I felt a feeling of peace surrounding me. You know, like in the Bible, when you're in a storm and the sea tossing and turning, you pray to God for solace and for peace to be still. And it came. And you know, I thought to myself, and I thought to my son, okay, son, we got this. Don't worry. It's going to be all right. When I get home, I'm going to ask your aunt if she can come up with some money. A load was lifted off my heart because I knew I was doing the best that I could. I quietly went back to my class and sat down. I sat there for a few moments next to my classmate. See, I had my purse there on the floor. I trust everybody. Besides, they know I ain't got no money. You know, trust and believe was nothing in that purse. I grabbed my writing pad and I tucked it into my purse. And right there by my water bottle was some bills, some money. I took a quick moment and I grabbed them and I looked at this money and it was 2 20s and a 10. I was like, hey, who put this money here? I immediately started looking around. My turtle head was on a swivel, y'all. Give me this money. Finally, I looked at my classmate sitting next to me. She kept looking straight ahead. I stared at her, and I knew, and like my mama would say, I thought, Lord Jesus, what is this? This white woman, who's just my classmate, spoke in volumes to me with those 2 20s and that 10, saying, Pearl, I care about you. And I'm not going to sit there and let someone murder your son. Y'all, she became that one that stepped up when I asked myself a while back, who was going to help me help my son? I wouldn't take my eyes off of her, right? I'm looking at her. So she finally turned around and she smiled at me and she grabbed my hand. Girl, I quietly thanked her and hugged her. I didn't want to let go. See, a lot of you white folks be coming through sometime. And that gives me so much hope. Because I got to be honest, I've seen this all my life. And even now, white folks joining in the streets, protesting, saying that Black lives matter. Just to have this saying that my life matters. Reaching out with a helping hand, a welcome heart, saying in your own way, I care, I see, what can I do? I was able to get that money to my son, but I also told him how I got it. He paused on the phone. He said, what? Damn, for reals, Ma? A white lady? Hey, Mom, that's what I'm talking about. Ma, tell that white lady thanks. And tell her good looking out. And I want to tell you thanks so much and good looking out for being here and listening. I so appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pearl.
Welcome back.
Oh, you're good. Thank you so much.
Okay, sure.
Pearl has been a member of the Marsh community, performance community for many years, and it's just wonderful to see her be a part of this project and to share her voice. Really quickly, before I introduce the next performer, I wanted Mark Kenward to give a wave, and there's Mark, and Wayne Harris, are you around here? Can you give a wave just so we see you? All right, he's somewhere around. I just want everyone to see who they were as well. All right, so now without further ado, I'd like to introduce Denise Jones, who we didn't know before until she contacted us. So this is the beauty of the Marsh, where people come and they know a story, opportunity to tell their story, and she came, and it's been great to work with her. And her piece is called Who Changed the Narrative? So let's give Denise a warm welcome.
All right. I want to first dedicate this to Mr. Charlie Hinton. Mr. Charlie Hinton is the reason why I'm able to really share my story. Mr. Hinton is the person that inspired me. He was the first person that I saw outside of the prison system that knew everything I experienced, from the drive to looking at the trees on the road, to the vending machines, to the burgers. And so I really want to dedicate this piece to Mr. Hinton. I will forever be grateful to him as a mom that met a perfectly stranger that will always be a part of the narrative of this story. He will never be forgotten, always close to my heart. I talk about him everywhere I go, about a man that really understood a woman. Go figure. That's odd. You know, I really did have a narrative to this story. It was all planned out. I was going to grow up and I was going to get married and I was going to have these wonderful children. You know, the family, not the Brady Bunch, more like Bill Cosby family, you know, the mom, the dad. We all went to work. We all had this picket fence. And every time we encountered each other, it was going to be this happy moment, you know, that narrative. That's the narrative that I grew up watching. You know, I also kind of understood the narrative of Good Times. You remember Flo and JJ and Thelma? They stayed in the projects for the whole 30 seasons. They never came out. Well, I kind of could relate to both families, but I had my own narrative. You know, I end up having three wonderful girls. You know, it was really fun. It was like I can dress them alike. We can all be twins on our festivals on the 4th of July. You know, you had the mom that looked like the 2-year-old and the 2-year-old that looked like the 4-year-old because you all had on this American flag outfit for the 4th of July. It was just perfect. I even had barrettes. Yes. I had barrettes to match everything. There was the bucket with the red barrettes, and then there was the bucket with the blue barrettes, and then there was the bucket with the white barrettes. Oh, come in. Let me tell you a little Afro American secret. Don't tell anybody. We kept our barrettes in the licorice bucket. Yes, go imagine. After we ate the licorice out the jar, we didn't throw it away. You would immediately say, hey, put that back in there. We'll use that. And guess what? It was room for rubber bands. So now I have barrettes and I have rubber bands. And guess what? I even had one for the brush. So the comb and the brush had a rubber bands, and the barrettes had a bucket, and they were all from Red Vine. Never got to tell those people thank you, but I turned them into little storage containers. So, yes, wonderful. But that wasn't really the whole part of my narrative. I knew I would have a son because I just dreamed like he would just play ball and basketball and football. Oh my God. You know, that's the average mother's dream. You're going to get us out the projects. I know you're going to get a grant. You're going to get a scholarship. You're going to get, and we're out of here. That was part of the narrative. Well, come closer. Let me be a little more honest. I was tired of chasing barrettes every day. I would get up early in the morning and I would dress all the girls and I put them all in, and you twist and you twist and you twist and you say, no, turn your head back this way. And then you twist and you twist and you twist. And then you take the barrette and you tie it on, and then you say, stand up. Oh, she's so cute. I can't wait till we go outside. And then You know, the moms are the last to get dressed, right? So you put these three kids on this couch and you give them that mother look and you give them that command and you say, don't move. I'm going upstairs and I'm going to get dressed. I'll be back. Well, listen, those three little girls, I don't think they understood language, none of the language, because when I come back, all the barrettes are off, all the clothes are off, and they're just sitting on the couch and they're just smiling. I'm like, Mommy, you ready to go? And I'm like, no! What happened? These poor little girls had no mercy on me or time. So guess what? I figured I can end some of the insanity. I'll get a son. Now, it wasn't like I can just go buy him, but I kind of thought I can figure this out. I'm going to get me a male son. Yeah. Blue jeans, white t-shirt, tennis shoes, and a haircut. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I figured out how to cut his hair before he was born. It was get a bowl, just get a bowl and stick it on top of his head and get the razor and just shape around it. And there you go. It was a haircut. It was so much simpler than getting the red barrettes, the blue barrettes, the green barrettes. Oh my God, this narrative, just thinking about it, was coming alive. Well, I prayed and I said, Lord, please have mercy on me. Please, can I just have a son? I mean, I just only want one. I'm not going to be greedy. Can I just get one? And one day, I was walking down the street, just minding my business. And I'm just walking, and I kind of look like the little ducks that are at the park, because I had these three kids walking behind me. So you know how you always see them at the park, and they're walking like this, and the little chicks are just like coming behind, and I'm just walking, and I'm walking. Oh my God. I kind of feel a little nauseated here. Well, it's probably because of all the food that I like to eat, I like to eat. And so I thought that maybe I ate something. I just passed it off. Oh, and I just kept walking. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I start craving wine coolers. Oh my God, who craves wine coolers? The alcoholics do, I understand. But I'm saying, like, who craves wine coolers at 1 o'clock in the day with three little chickens falling behind you and you're just walking and walking? And I'm like, I just got to have this wine cooler. I don't know what's going on. And I bought that wine cooler. Oh my God. Don't tell anybody, but it cured the nausea. Now, I don't know if it's because I was drunk, but I know my stomach wasn't all nauseated anymore. So I said it was just something that I ate. Whew. Well, I started gaining this weight. Gaining weight at a rapid increase. But, I kind of assumed that it was because, in the Afro-American culture, we like to party. So when we have a party, there's plenty of food, plenty of drink, and a lot of music. And guess what? I don't miss any invitations. So maybe it's because I'm always eating. Maybe it's because I always take Tupperware Don't tell anybody. But it is a culture. We always take Tupperware when we come and visit for the holidays, birthdays, Christmas. Your uncle just died. The lady across the street had a heart attack. The dog up the street got kicked. We got a party. It's just in our culture as Black people. We just have to party. So I think it was just all of the festives. Oh, but I can't really fit these clothes anymore. And I can't seem to stop wanting to throw up. Is it flu season? It has to be flu season. I know it's flu season. So I'm going to go to the doctor. So I go into, good evening, Mrs. Jones. Hey, Doc, how are you? It's not good. I think I have the flu. Okay. So tell me some of your symptoms. Well, it's probably not anything, but I just gained like a lot of weight within the last 3 months. And, I get sick every morning, but I love wine coolers all of a sudden. And, I'm really not liking my family right now, but that's probably way before I even got to the sickness. It kind of just probably be some people that I didn't like anyway, but I thought I'd just throw that in there. But I'm feeling really funny right now. So you want me to take a what? You want me to take a pregnancy test? Did he say a pregnancy test? Oh, sure. I'll take a pregnancy test. I'm going to take a pregnancy test. And I went in that bathroom. And, I turned the top off that cup and I squatted and I said, Lord, please let me be pregnant. And I twisted it. And on the way back in, I said in my mind, Lord, please don't let this be another girl. So back then they do the little test with the urine, you didn't have to wait long. And the doctor came back and he says, Miss Jones? And I said, yeah. He was like, good news, bad news. Which one you want first? I'll take the bad news first. You don't have the flu. Whew. Ooh, what's wrong? I already know. What's wrong? You're pregnant. Oh, I'm pregnant? I'm gonna have a baby. I'm gonna have a baby. Yeah. Doc, is it a boy? Miss Jones, you're only several weeks. We wouldn't know that. I know it's a boy. Well, I have to go and share the news. Boy, it's another reason to party. Yes, and another reason for me to eat. Well, actually, now I have an excuse. I'm pregnant. That's my past. It's okay. I am pregnant. Ring. Hey, girl, how are you? You're never gonna believe this. No, my baby daddy not coming back. No, no. No, listen, I have to tell you, girl, I know Ray got shot, but let me tell you yes. So listen, I am pregnant. Yes. What is it? Girl, it's a boy. Yes. How far along am I? Girl, I am 7 weeks. Don't judge me. I know, but I know. Don't judge me. It's a boy. Okay, I'm going to hang up. Wow. This narrative is starting to come together. I am going to have a male child. Yes. Oh, hey. Oh, my back. What is that? Excuse me. Could somebody call 911, please? I think I'm going in labor. Oh my God. The pain. The pain. Oh, let me tell you about him. I was in labor for 24 hours. 24 long hours. That's not the horrible thing about this lovely child that I asked for. He came to the birth canal and he looked and he went back in. And he came out and he peeked again and he went back in. Can I say he did this for a whole hour? Oh, I am now screaming, I don't care, just get it out. You know, I didn't know giving birth to a Black son would cause so much pain. Well, he's here. Oh my God. He's adorable. His skin is so like soft and caramel and chocolate. And oh my God, all the hair. I don't have to do barrettes. And he has all his fingers and all his toes. 10 and 10. We're in this to win it. Doc, how much did he weigh? 5 pounds and 2 ounces. Well, how long was he? 20 inches? All this and all he weighs 5 pounds? Oh, I thought I was going to have bragging rights when I got back home. I was going to be like, oh my God, he weighs 7 pounds and 7 ounces, and he was 21 inches long. 5 pounds. Well, son, he's now growing up. Yeah, we played basketball together. We played soccer. You know, he likes basketball. Really good at basketball. You know, I know one day you're going to be on the NBA. I see it, son. Well, he's 17 now. You know, the talk that you give those girls, it's not the same talk that you have to give your son, especially a Black son. You know, the rules are a little different. It goes a little something like this. Son, when you go outside, stay off that corner. Do not go down the street by that corner. There's nothing good gonna come from that corner. Son, who is that person? No, you can't go with him. I don't know his mom. Where's his dad? Son, when you see the police, keep your hands on the wheel. Don't move suddenly. Keep your license at a place where you don't have to reach in your pocket. Son, make sure that you always have a condom. Son, make sure that you don't wear a hoodie. No, we don't wear a hoodie, son. No, you can't wear a black hoodie. You know, I gave him that talk. You know, spent a lot of time as a mom giving him all the rules, trying to protect him, trying to keep him safe. You know, I always knew it was something about that corner store. You know, at the corner store, you see a lot of kids out there, a lot of boys whose fathers are probably absent. Their moms, not all of them are on drugs, some of them at work. You know, I was going to work. I gave them the rule, do not go outside. Don't go anywhere until I come back home. Well, you know, the narrative was about to change. I guess I'm gonna go, you guys. I have a speaking engagement today, girls. Son, I have to go. I'm gonna go speak today, and I'll be back. And I want you all to stay here. Okay, if you have to leave, make sure you let your oldest sister know where you're going because I have to go and do this engagement, and I'll be back. You know, people, you have to make sure that you stay motivated. You have to stay encouraged. You know, there's always going to be conflicts. There's always going to be times where things doesn't look like it's working right for you. There's always going to be opposition. But you know what, moms? You have to make sure that you're always there for your children. You have to, excuse me, my phone keeps ringing. Hold on. So, you know, you really have to make sure that you're there for your kids. You really have to, I'm sorry, but my phone keeps ringing. Hold on one second. I need to step out for a minute. I need to get this. I'll be right back. Hello? Hey, what's going on? What's happening? What? This can't be happening. What do you mean? What are you saying? Hold on. So where is he? Where is he now? Oh my God. I cannot believe this. Like, how can he be? Like, oh my God. Okay, I'll have to get it together. I'll have to get it together. Okay, so listen, this is what I need you to do. Call the police station and ask him what is he being charged at and where is he, and I'm on my way. I'm leaving right now. Okay. Oh my God. God, what's happening? What's happening? I don't understand. Like, I'm just trying to make sure that I just do things right. Okay. Deep breaths. Woosah. I have to get home. Hold on. Yes? What do you mean they're charging him with murder? Like what? My son would never kill anybody. I didn't raise him like this. This is not happening. All right. Where is he? They won't let us see him? Okay. It's okay. You know, that's not the narrative that I wrote is not what I dreamed of. I didn't think that my only son would end up in the hole that I told him about. You know, the system. You know, when you usually fall in that hole, it's hard to get out. I did everything that I could. Okay, I got this. I got this. I am going to be okay. No, I'm not going to be okay. No, I'm going to be okay. No, I'm not going to be okay. I got this. No, I don't have this. It's going to work out right. It's not going to work out right. This was my emotion every day through the whole court procedure. I was hopeful. I was scared. You know, it was almost like my son. He peeked out and then he went back in. Well, that's what my emotions were like. They were in and then they were out. Well, we're here now. It's the day that you have to be sentenced, son. I'm writing you this letter because I want you to always know that no matter what, you're always going to be my number one fan. I'm always going to be your cheerleader. I'm always going to be on your team. I'm not sure how much time they're going to give us. Son, I said us, because we have to do this together now. I'll meet you there. I'll be in the courtroom. I'll be smiling and looking really paused and posed. Deep down inside, I'm screaming in pain, in anger, in shame. But I'm going to smile because I don't want him to see my real emotions right now. Son, I hear you talking to me. I hear you trying to tell me something. Mama, you're the queen of my heart. Your love is right here from the start. Mama, I just want you to know. Loving you is like food in my soul. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Son, Mommy loves you. You'll always have my heart. Mommy will never turn her back on you, son. I know it's painful for us right now. But just like I pushed you out, son, I'm going to walk with you through these 15 years, son. Mommy got you. I have one question, though. Who changed my narrative? That's it.
Thank you so much, Denise. That was really she added this song tonight and got me teary-eyed just saying goodbye to him. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I think Stephanie Wiseman is going to, I don't know if we have time for, if we want to do a short Q&A. Stephanie, would you?
Yeah, I don't think we should leave. I think we can do
Yeah.
a short Q&A. Might not be really long, but what a night of performances. What total heart. Total heart. Thank you both. Thanks you so much for this. Thank you for telling your stories and your narrative, Pearl and Denise. Thank you, Rebecca, Wayne, and Mark, for putting this project together so that we can have these stories. They're so important. They're so important. Thank you. So, how do we start this Q&A? I mean, how do you both feel after doing your performance? Why don't you start, Pearl?
Oh, hi, Stephanie.
Hey,
Yes.
Pearl.
Yes, I feel good. I do get emotional, but I always feel that I have to share this. And what's always great is that people do listen. And I really so appreciate that. So, what was the question?
How do you feel? But I'm gonna ask you another one. Denise,
Okay.
I'll be right to you. I'll be right to you, Denise.
Okay.
Why do you think it's important? I mean, I know it's obvious it's important, but why is it important for you to share this story?
I don't think people got to know. I think sometimes that the narrative of what as Black mothers go through, that it's not sugar-coated, but it's just, it's covered. And I don't think that people really see us. And I thought that if there was a face to a real story, it's not something that some writer put or something like that, but it's someone that maybe if I can speak to you, this is what really happens, you know. And I just want people to realize the system, and especially in the community, is just overwhelmingly smothering. You know, it's like it's a very hard that we deal with as mothers, you know, and I just feel I had to share. So,
Well, thank you.
yeah.
It was great. Deeply great. Thank you,
Yeah.
Pearl.
Sure. Yeah.
And Denise, what about you? Why do you, I'm not in any way saying I don't think it's important. I just want to hear your words about it. So Denise, thank you for your performance. And what's important for you why is it important for you to tell this story?
The reason that I personally feel that it's important for us to share our stories is because I won't say many, but there are a certain amount of people who feel that a single mom has always done something wrong when our sons get incarcerated. We are usually stereotyped on storylines in the news. It's like it's never a good story. It's always just bad, and the system has trained our psyche to believe that when something bad like that happens, we have to make it have a reason why. And so I felt that it is time for them to know that the majority of our Afro American men do come from good, wholesome homes. And they have been loved, and they have been cultivated, and they have been trained, and they have been raised right. But it is that absentee father that our system played a part in as well, because some of our sons' fathers are also incarcerated or got incarcerated after we got impregnated. So there's that cycle where that male child needs that male figure to have that balance. And so a lot of times in the Afro-American community, we don't have that. So you just have a mom. And so I really wanted people to understand that from a single mom's perspective, that I did what I could to help to keep him from falling into that black hole.
Thank you, Dee. Pearl, do you want to talk to that too? That subject of the single mom?
Yeah, I didn't want to be a single mother, but again, just like Denise was saying, some of the sons, their fathers are also incarcerated. There were many times when their father was in prison. And you know, the sons always say, this won't happen to me. I won't get caught up in this. They think their narrative is any type of different. But being a single mother, we do get blamed for a lot of things. For you don't raise your son right, you're not there, there seems to be a problem. And just like Denise is saying, we take care of our kids the best way that we can, you know, and we just hope. And sometimes I feel, Stephanie, even if you have a two-parent household, it's society doesn't look at that child being with a single mother or two dual parents. I mean, a Black boy is treated the same way. If you see that child that's been murdered or whatever, the families line up. They let the world know that this child had people that loved him. And their fathers are there, their mothers are there, their aunties, their cousins, just like the last in Georgia. This young man, he had a wife. He was a father. And he was murdered. That's how I felt. And his wife is staying there, letting them know that he was a good father. And it's just really hard, you know. That we do have, yeah.
It's so hard. So hard.
Yeah.
They're with you and they're separate, right?
Yeah.
So is there anybody in the audience, or Rebecca, Mark, or Wayne, do you have some questions that you might want to ask, or say something you might want to say about the performance?
I'm curious what I'd love to hear what the audience has for them, because I just know being with them has been such a privilege for me to work with and be in the Zoom with them. I would love to hear if other people wanted to soak up some of their spirit and ask them questions. And is there anybody that has a question for them?
Not so far. Not so far.
While we're waiting, I just wanted to give a shout out to Rebecca, a mother herself, who has spearheaded this part of the project and done a beautiful job with it. You really made this happen, Rebecca, and I'm so grateful. It's a perspective that's important. You know, we set out to tell the stories of formerly incarcerated people, and of course, the stories, the whole story is bigger. I mean, it includes so many different perspectives, and the perspectives of mothers impacted by incarceration is something we all need to be present with. So thank you, Rebecca, for making it happen. And Pearl and Denise, you guys just rocked it. That was terrific, both of you. Just so powerful and so moving, and so grateful to be in collaboration with you.
I wanted to tell you that when we heard your stories, got in the room, or the Zoom room with you, after being in the other group, the people that had been incarcerated, and if they did mention their mothers, it was like this whole new awareness after I heard your stories. I was like, oh, they're mothers. Of course, they have their own story. That it just opened up. Actually, when I heard one recently, and he mentioned his mother, looking at his mother in the courtroom, and I was like, oh, his mother has a whole story there about that. That it just how these stories kind of support each other, the perspectives. And being a mother myself, of course, it just felt the mother journey is powerful to me to hear in these circumstances.
Somebody said unmute me. I just wanted to share. I don't know if anybody has any more questions, but I really wanted to say that the work, and it's not like doing all the brownie of anything, but the work of Mr. Charlie is so, so, so imperative. It is very imperative because a lot of, well, how do I want to say it? It's more needed in the Afro-American culture, if that's the best way I can say it. Because unfortunately, when I went to the showing, there were maybe one other person that looked like myself at his show. And I think that if our culture or our mothers or the wives that are in the same scenario, such as myself, and they were able to just hear it in a play form or a storytelling form, such as Charlie does, it helps relieve a lot of the burden of thinking that you're crazy, if that makes sense. It was hearing him do the step by step from the drive, the hotel, the vending machine, the process of being processed in. When you hear that as a mom, especially, and it's your first time, like I'm a new booty, as they say in the streets, like, it's like you hear a guy telling everything that you have experienced for 6 years. I had already done 6 years. I say me, I have already done 6 years of time with my son, and nobody outside of the person in the car with me had an idea on what it was like just to visit. And so I believe if we could somehow make it more for our community to hear in a very gentle way, it really will cause mothers and wives to grab a little more hope. So shows like this, platforms like this, it is a form of healing for us as well. It is a form of giving a voice, and it is well needed. And so I just wanted to say, whoever's over this project, like, I hopefully pray that this is not the last time that you guys allow me, Pearl, and Lottie Dottie, and everybody else be able to really say, maybe to some of our governors, some of the senators, some of the prosecutors, some of the DAs, like for them to really understand while they're backdoor plotting, they're affecting us as a family as well. So it's not just them setting up time for my son, they set up time for a whole family. And so to really think about the aftermath of what decision they're making.
Well, thank you.
Okay, we've got some raised hands with some questions here that I don't want to let go here. So,
David, before we do that, can we do Wayne as one of the artistic directors, and then is it Julie, and then who else is it, David?
Kathleen and Charlie, and then there was another one in the chat.
Julia.
So we got 4 or 5 people here waiting in line here.
Okay, let's give Wayne his chance, and then we'll go forward.
I will be quick. First of all, great job, Denise and Pearl. I just love hearing your story and, having a chance to have heard them before, and seeing the development that's coming along is amazing. There's work to do, and you're doing the work. And that's all we appreciate. The ramifications of the mass incarceration of Black men is real. And it's generational, and I believe you both mentioned institutional. And I know that there are forums and there's a structure in place to help families of victims. Is there help out there for you? I mean, thank God you connected with Charlie, and I love Charlie Hinton too. He is a wonderful man. But there were no things in place to kind of help assist you through this process?
For me, no. I hate to say it, but I will say it. One of the challenges for us as a culture, we tend to not have the liberty to talk about something that's bad. We will party and celebrate, but it's almost like it's so shameful, it's so degrading. So you push it under the rug, and it's a stigma. And stigma is a beast, with any type of quote, society, not norm. Stigma really keeps people such as myself locked in. And so if we're all locked in, then there's like no forum, no support groups. Well, they're on like Facebook, but then it's like not that one-on-one encounter that a mother would need. And you would think,
area I'm actually on is moving.
yeah, you would think that the court system within itself would have designed something knowing they were sending our sons away, but that'd be too much, right?
Right.
Well, as for me, any kind of support that I got was other families that just had a little get together and a little newsletter out there. But as for anything like an agency that would help, I'm with Denise, no, because when you get in the system as a family member, they seem to punish you too.
Yeah.
Because you go through the same rigmarole like the children. And like Denise was saying, you're treated like a criminal too. They look at you like, well, you caused that, you probably just as bad as that child. The acorn don't fall too far from the tree, right. That they try to do. And like Denise saying that, we tried not to share, it just usually be within a family. But what do you tell your child that their father is in prison? So when they go to school and say, what does your daddy do? My daddy does, I hate to say this, 5 years, and stuff. So you just don't tell. You just tell them that your father's gone for one.
Yes, to that black college.
Yeah, to that black college. Getting that PhD, right?
Right. The all men's college, that is.
Yes. Because kids at that age, they don't know. Because if they find out that your daddy's in jail, and then they get picked on, and then they get stigmatized. So like Denise says, we keep our mouths shut just to protect ourselves. Yeah.
Thank you. Julie, did you have a question now? Julia.
She on mute.
Okay, here I am. Sorry you can't see me. The light is bad in here.
Hey, Julia.
Hi everybody. That was so amazing. Both Pearl and Denise, really beautiful and really reached me. And in fact, especially listening to you just now, the reminder that the sense that you were doing the time with your son, like that you both shared that, really went through me. My question, actually, Denise, you answered it with when you were talking, but my question was for both of you, if you could tell your story, if there was one audience that you most really wanted to hear this story, like who would that be? Denise, what I got off you was your own community, like, like this is like this is we need to share this and recognize that what's going on is not shameful, it's just real. But also senators and people in power, that's what I heard you say.
Right. For our community, so I wanted to say, like our community, we talk about it within ourselves, so to speak, which means my community, my mom, my aunt, my uncle, but we don't talk about it abroad. So it's like pockets, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I got to say with Denise too, that, I mean, it seems like they shut us down all the time. If they swat us down, there's nobody there to talk to. And above all, they let you know every day they're not interested. So who do we go? We're trying to take care of our sons. We're trying to, or daughters that are there. And who do we go because we get wear down so bad? And they let us know that you're just as bad as a child. You did something. And as you can see, a lot of these people that are in jail is not for violent crimes. Mm-hmm. It's more like economic crimes, stealing something or whatever. And then we have to talk about the bail. You come from a family of a poor person, and when you say bail, it's a system that they make. And if we can say this, it's a business. Everything from the government's getting paid, the private jails, and they take everything they can from you, and it's just no one wants to listen. Nobody cares. That's what I get. I'd be on the phone sometimes, and they just move you along. That's what, yeah. And Denise is right. We got to work together as a community and to address this.
Okay.
Thanks for asking the question.
I think we have one more person, David. Was it Charlie Hinton? We have
We've
one
got
more.
three more questions in the hopper here. Kathlena, I'm going to unmute you here. You're on.
Oh, thank you. Oh, Denise, Pearl.
Hi, Kathleen.
Hi, sweetie. So powerful and gut-wrenching. And your stories need to be told. I was thinking along the same lines of what Julia said, like more people need to hear your stories, the love, the pain, the gut-wrenching pain of being a mother, powerless in a system that absolutely, where it's all stacked against you. And these stories need to be told so that people understand, people who are not in your culture understand, who want to understand and want to see real change. I mean, I feel you. And
thank you. Thanks.
And my question is, how are your sons doing right now?
Who want to go? You want to go, Denise?
So, and my producer over here is saying, that's another show, babe. That's another show. Let's say that the effects of the system is a beast. Let's say that. Let's say the child, well, not child, well, my child. Let's say this is what happens. The person they arrest and the person that they keep is not the person they send back home.
Yes.
So who came home is not the son that got arrested. And because of that, now I have to figure out how to navigate and I'm about to cry. It's like having a son that you never sign permission to go to the Army. And they come back with PTSD and you get no help. And they have the nerves to tell them, you have to walk this line, knowing they don't have the mental capacity to reform to a whole new system that you took them out of in enough time to make them forget the system. Now they're in something new and their minds are gone. So you get back a child or a son or a daughter who is just the body. You have, most of the times you have the body, you have what you gave birth to, but they stripped them so bad. Solitary confinement is a beast.
Yeah.
And they don't care. And they let them out. And unfortunately, my son could not last and he went back. So now we have to start this cycle all over again. Not because he didn't have the support, not because he didn't have what he needed when he came home, but they stripped his mind so bad. And as Pearl said, it's a money-making business.
Yeah.
It's a money-making business. And I almost feel like they let them out to tease them. And they say to them before they leave, see you in 6 months.
Yeah. They do.
So that's my story for now.
I know my thing is my son is still out, which I'm very happy about. But I've always was worried that he would be, because when your child is on parole, it's just an invisible leash.
That
They can
part.
pull any time. And there's a whole story that can be talked about when they are on parole. And the parole officer comes to your house. And they tear up your house, looking for something that's not there. Or they come knocking on your door late at nighttime. Or they come into your house drawing weapons. And they want to terrorize the family. So you gotta, there's certain, it's just that, and you worry that, will my child go back? Because the recidivism rate is extremely high. Mm-hmm. And Denise is right. They go in different and they come back out different. Mm-hmm. And so they plop the child right there in front of you. Now you deal with it, Okay, here's the phone number. Here's a couple of parolee prisoner support groups, when there's about 500 that needs the help, but they only got room for 50. Right. So you sit there and you wait and you wait. And if I could say this, Denise, and I don't know if you feel this way too, but I think it's with a lot. It's hard dealing with men sometimes because they want to be a man. Mm-hmm. And when they get to your home, they got someone that tells them that they can take them anytime. Yep. And that when you have to talk to them and get them through the system, and he still got his manhood because while he's in prison, he's been fighting for it. Wow. And now you gonna tell me, Mom, I got more rules? You know? So that's what happens. And yeah. Yeah, I can talk some Denise. Denise, what I'm talking about. You just stop. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how we are. It's yeah. That's a I'm so glad people are listening. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much, Wayne. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And thank you so much, Toni. I know you're in there somewhere. Thank you so much, Toni Weingarten.
I just want to say, it's something Denise said. Oh, for sure, this is going to keep going, and we want to support you and getting your stories out over and over to more audiences. And I look forward to collaborating with you over the coming months in terms of that. And I hope we have time for Charlie Hinton's question because he's
Charlie.
And you know what, Mark? Hey guys, we've got Joseph asked a question a ways. Right. He's been waiting in line here.
All right.
I had the same question as the last question about the sun, so I'll pass. But thank you so much, both of you. It was
thank you.
It was very educational.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks. Yes.
Charlie?
So then we have Joseph, was that it, David? And then we're going to close up for the night?
I think Charlie.
Yeah, so Joseph's question's an easy one. He says, my question is how long each performer has been working on their piece?
15 years.
Right. I got to go with, 10 years. But for the itself, it's just that we started, I would say I kind of put maybe about 2 months, maybe 2.5 months, maybe 3, maybe. Would you say, Denise?
I think it was 3 when we actually
Yeah.
together. I think it was 3.
Yeah, maybe around that time. And just I think with Denise and us, and we also have Cassandra. I like to say her name. I like to say her name. We live in life out there, y'all. And sometimes, and that's one thing about Rebecca and Wayne and Mark and Toni. You guys kept encouraging us, kept going over the paper, the story. Okay, now we got to cut this, y'all. Now we got to, what about this? So we thank you guys so much. It's a team effort. That's what I'm just saying. It was a team effort. Yeah. And just the gift of you guys letting us be here. I think it's wonderful. Thanks.
Well, thank you. And I sure am waiting to hear the next part.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This is part A or whatever, and we want to hear part B and C. So we hope you'll come back and you'll be telling us part B and C. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thank
our
you.
producers, our performers, our directors of the Formerly Incarcerated Peoples Project. Thank you all so much. Please support this project and us. Become a member of MarshStream. Put some money in the tip jar. We need to keep going. We don't have any ticket sales. We want to get us to the point when we can be open, but we are actually truly glad to be able to have this MarshStream. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Well,
Bye,
and see you all soon. Woo! Woo! Woo!
Bye, everyone. Bye, Charlie.
Bye. Bye.